Hello, dear fans, and welcome back. And happy May the 4th, or I should say happy late May the 4th, depending on when this video uploads. But what better way to celebrate this day than to watch Death Battle faceplant into the floor while sending a character to their inevitable death for the sake of views? Well, let's begin and see what damage they've done this time.
Another happy landing. Huh? Hello there.
Hold it. You're in Konoha territory. I have some questions, if you'll come with me.
You want to go home and keep reading your book?
I want to go home and keep reading my book. After I kick your ass!
Had enough?
Well now, you've fallen for the deadliest stratagem we ninja know. 1,000 years of death.
Don't try it! I have the high ground!
I guess I have the high ground.
Oh, I don't think so.
Most impressive. But I see you. Fire style!
Be mindful of your thoughts, Obi-Wan. They betray you.
Don't give up.
Trust in the Force. So uncivilized.
KO!
So, Obi-Wan versus Kakashi. What can be said about it? Well, let's begin. The first thing I want to address and get out of the way is the matchup. However, I'm not going to go too much into the compatibility or the reasons why this matchup happened, as I already addressed those points in my previous video, but the main thing I want to focus on is the fact that this is yet again another trendy matchup, something that even people in my comment section and my Twitter were pointing out, that this video just so happened to conveniently come out on May the 4th, and the Star Wars character conveniently wins. Yeah, like I said to someone on my Twitter, if you really think that's a coincidence, then you don't know Death Battle. Death Battle plans this stuff well in advance. And of course Death Battle is going to do this on May the 4th. The reason why they do these trendy matchups is because it's an easy way to get views, because that's all Death Battle wants at the end of the day. You honestly think they choose these Death Battles because they actually think it's what's going to be the most entertaining, or it's going to cause the most debate? No, of course not. Sometimes, in some cases, Death Battle will have to intentionally cause an argument or fuck something up just so people will start debating it. But yeah, this is yet another trendy matchup. Like, oh yeah, let's just do this on May the 4th and have the Star Wars character win and we'll get tons of views. The problem is what Death Battle didn't take into account is the fact that Star Wars is dead, which I don't know why they would choose this now of all times to do this Death Battle, considering that Star Wars is completely fucked, raped by both Disney and EA, but I guess that never really has stopped Death Battle before, like when they did Charizard versus Greymon well after the Flame War between Pokemon and Digimon was over. But that's a conversation for another day. So yet again, another fucking trendy matchup. When is Death Battle gonna fucking stop with these? And yeah, like I said in my previous video, it goes without saying, but the reasons for why these two should fight are stupid. Just because they have the same character arc doesn't mean that's a valid reason for why they should fight. As I've addressed in other videos, when you come up with a Death Battle matchup, you should ask yourself, are these characters compatible? Would these characters have a compelling fight between one another? Would they have good chemistry? Would there be something to make the fight intriguing? And you can't always get that by just saying, oh, well, here's two characters that have the exact same character arc, so have them fight. It's just lame. You might as well just be saying, well, they have the same character, so fuck it. I mean, I guess it's not as bad as other episodes, I guess, but it's still a little bit lame. And in regards to the research, as usual, is just fucking terrible. And there's already a ton of videos coming out that are debunking the research on this, so I won't go too deep into it because there's other people that are already talking about it. But I will go over a couple of questionable moments. They say that Kakashi scales to Jiraiya, who is a mountain buster. However, it has been confirmed plenty of times that people like Jiraiya and Kakashi scale to the Genjutiki, which are confirmed to be multi-continental. So if you're going to say that Obi-Wan is multi-continental because of General Grievous's armor, then Kakashi is also multi-continental. So I don't know if Death Battle thought that one through, they were aware of that, or the most likely instance, they just didn't do their research, because from what my sources tell me, Wiz and Boomstick, they no longer do research. They hire people to do that for them, and they hire some of the worst, most god-awful researchers of all time. If you've seen Jotaro versus Kenshiro, you all know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that their researchers can be pretty terrible at times. But another problem I have with this is, why do Kakashi? A lot of Kakashi's main powers are completely useless against Obi-Wan. The Force renders electricity, energy, and fire useless, as well as even mental manipulation. So, compatibility-wise, this is a shit show, so I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. But then again, this goes along with what Death Battle likes to do. They like to take... They will take these characters that, once again, they will have the perfect, convenient ability to counteract the other. So it makes for an easy victory, and it means they don't have to do as much research. Or in the case of this one, they could literally use whatever they want. And that's the thing, Death Battle just picked and chose what they wanted. There were plenty of abilities they left out that Obi-Wan has. For example, the Force Cloak, an ability that Obi-Wan has along with many other Jedi that can make him completely invisible. Why that wasn't used? I don't know. That is just a lot of the really shitty stuff, and admittedly, the positives do outweigh the negatives here if I'm being perfectly honest, so I'll be a little bit fair and go over some of the good stuff before I go into some of the more bad stuff. But one thing I will say is it goes without saying the animation is pretty good. Devil's Artemis is a pretty talented animator, although it is sad that his talents are being wasted on Death Battle episodes. But hey, it could be worse. He could be working for Animation Rewind. But yeah, the animation is pretty good, although I wish there was a little bit more fluidity to some of the animation. Some of it just feels like it feels a little too stiff, or like the characters weren't moving as fluid and quickly as they could be to make the action interesting, and just shitty speed bars are used to create an illusion of moving fast rather than just actually using clever animation techniques to make them appear as if they are moving fast. For example, in the case of the Star Wars Episode 3 lightsaber battles, what they would do to simulate speed is they would use fast forward type stuff to make it look like they were moving faster than they actually were to simulate the superhuman movement of the Jedi. Now, I won't necessarily fully blame Devil's Artemis here because Death Battle only probably gave him 2 weeks to animate that, so he probably had to animate what he could because Death Battle doesn't believe in giving their animators time, so I don't fully blame him. Other things that were pretty good is the voice acting and banter was spot on. The people they got to voice Obi-Wan and Kakashi did a perfect job. Obi-Wan sounds exactly like Obi-Wan, and Kakashi sounds exactly like Kakashi. And from what little I know about Kakashi, because I didn't watch a shit ton of Naruto back in the day, but from what I do remember about him, his character seemed pretty accurate to how he was in the anime, and of course it goes without saying Obi-Wan was also pretty accurate to how he was in the movies, although I would have preferred a little bit more trolling from Obi-Wan, because that's kind of his thing. He's known as a master troll. I wish we could have gotten more of that, but whatever, can't have everything. And the banter is pretty good. I did like the banter back and forth between these two. It was very fun, and for what it's worth, hearing some famous Star Wars lines is always welcome. I didn't expect Kakashi to whip out a Darth Vader quote, but hey, it was pretty fun, so I'll give Death Battle that. At least the people who write the Death Battle scripts are not completely incompetent, so I can at least say they have some decent script writers over there. The music is fine. I mean, I wouldn't really describe it as bad, but I think I would have just preferred Death Battle just used some more Star Wars music, or just made a mashup of Star Wars music and Naruto music, because Star Wars and Naruto are known for having really good soundtracks. I mean, this is coming from someone, I don't like Naruto, but Naruto does have an incredible soundtrack. I feel like that's a little bit of a missed opportunity to not use in any capacity. And before someone tells me, well, wouldn't Death Battle get in trouble for copyright and then not be able to monetize the video? Yes and no. There are plenty of remixes out there of famous Star Wars themes and Naruto themes. I'm sure you could have found some remix or gotten one of your music guys to make a remix of the Star Wars theme, and you would have been fine. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I mean, I guess the music isn't too bad, but like I said, personally I would have preferred a little bit more Star Wars and Naruto theme implementation when you consider how iconic their themes are. So that's some of the positives out of the way, and the last thing I'll say in terms of positives before I get to a couple more negatives is the jokes here, for the most part, are fine enough. I did chuckle at a couple of them. However, there were also some cringy ones that I'll get to in a minute. But the humor here was okay for what it was. And I will say the animation on Wiz and Boomstick is slowly starting to get better. It doesn't look as cringy and stupid as it originally did. The first time they started using animation of their avatars, it just looked really, really bad, and people were clowning how bad it looked. I remember seeing that on my Twitter, but I am glad that at least that's improving. However, going back to the negatives, there were some pretty cringy jokes here. One thing I don't understand, why did they feel the need to put the 1,000 years of death in this? Like, they used the same joke twice. First, they show a scene of him doing it to Naruto, in which Boomstick makes the stale, unoriginal joke of, "Oh my god, Kakashi stuck his finger up a 14-year-old's butt. Surely he's on some kind of watch list for that." Yeah, Boomstick, you're not clever. You might as well have just made the ever-stale and overused FBI joke. It's about as original, and why even make that joke if you were gonna make the same exact joke in your actual animation? What was the point, and why use it at all? Was that really necessary for the fight? I mean, I get if you wanted to use it for a lame joke, but why put it in the animation? It just makes it hard to take the fight seriously when you put something like that in there. Like, okay, we get it. Getting stuff put up your butt hurts like a bitch. Trust me, I know, but why implement that into the fight? I mean, realistically, why would Kakashi use that in the middle of a fight? I mean, it's one thing to just use it as a joke, like when he's using it on one of his own students, but why in the middle of a fight? That just doesn't seem to make tactical sense to me. Then again, I'm not a Naruto fan, so what the hell do I know? Maybe Kakashi has actually used that in a fight with fucking Itachi or something, I don't know. I don't even think I even want to know. But it was pretty fucking lame. But overall, I will say this episode is a lot better than I thought it would be. For what it's worth, at least Death Battle seemed to give some love for this, unlike Disney and EA. Although I still wish they didn't do this at all, because again, Star Wars is dead, and I wish people like Death Battle would just let Star Wars rest in peace, because it's over. Star Wars is done, but that's for another day. I've already ranted plenty of times on how Star Wars is dead. So, my final rating for this is a 7 out of 10. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's not that bad. Yes, it could be better if Death Battle took a little bit more time to focus on the research and gave Devil's Artemis a little bit more time for the animation. This could have been at least an 8 out of 10. I mean, this isn't god-awful, but at the same time, just like with Booster Gold and Cable, there could have been more done here. There is some great stuff here. The voice acting is really good. The banter is a ton of fun. The fight itself is really well made, and there is some great moments in it. The way they found a way to implement Darth Vader in there due to Obi-Wan's PTSD was a nice touch, and I loved that. So I won't deny that there is great stuff here. However, there is also some really cringe and stupid stuff here that I cannot ignore that certainly holds it back from being more than it could. However, what do you guys think? Do you think Obi-Wan vs. Kakashi was any good? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys around next time.